Welcome back, everybody. We have our Fresh Start segment for you right now. If you've lost your job, if you want to... Oh. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We have our Fresh Start segment for you this morning. That was our Fresh Start. Do you feel like your life is full of clutter? Your closets are overflowing with junk. You're constantly running from appointment to appointment because your schedule is too cluttered. Maybe it's time to shed some of the clutter and make a fresh start.
To continue with our Fox and Friends Fresh Start series, we have Julie Morgenstern, author of Shed Your Stuff, Change Your Life. It's a 4-step guide to getting unstuck, you call it, and a lot of people are stuck right now, aren't they?
Everybody's stuck. My company did a survey, and 85% of the people surveyed are going through a significant life change and feeling a little stuck.
85%?
That's amazing.
85%, yeah.
You've come up with a word, which I love. It's very easy to remember. It's a 4-letter word. Some of us might be angry about it, but it's shed. S-H-E-D. Take us through the process. What is step 1 to change and fresh start your life?
Okay, so first, before I tell you the 4 steps, most people, when they start to declutter, focus just on getting rid of things. And they can't do it. It's really hard to do. So shed actually works because it focuses on what you do before and after getting rid of things to make it really work.
And we're not just talking about material possessions.
No, we're talking about everything from unused clothes to piles of unfinished projects to bad habits that are like weighing you down, procrastination and
this is the S word, separate the treasures.
So yeah, so the first thing you do is separate the treasures. You pull out the 10 or 20% that are really worth moving forward in your life.
How do you know what's really valuable?
You ask yourself, if all this were gone tomorrow, what would I miss? And all of a sudden, it's super clear to you. And it's usually like 10% of what's in there.
Like a wedding album or certain keepsake from a grandmother who's left you this. You don't need all the other extraneous stuff.
You don't need the extras. It's like 10 or 20% is all that's really what you use and love. And the rest is really the trash.
Okay.
And that's what the H is.
Heave the trash. What do you do with all the excess?
Well, if it's good enough to give away, then give it away. If it's ruined, then, recycle it. There are many organizations that can use things right now, so you can give those away. And if it's to-dos, give them away too. Delegate them. Give them to somebody else to do. People have too much on their own shoulders, so you can give away the extraneous tasks.
H is very important for Allison, because have you been upstairs to her office?
Not yet.
Heave the trash?
Heave that trash.
I suffer from clutter. I do. I'm listening very intently right now because I suffer from clutter. And when I clean off my desk often has piles on it and stray papers. When I clean it off, I do feel more productive the next thing that I do.
You do. You do. It's very energizing. That's one of the reasons to get unstuck and do this is you get energized, you get the space to think.
And you start thinking about how to embrace who you are. This is the next step that you talk about here. Embrace your identity from within. Now, you've cleaned it all off. Dave Briggs is in his office. He's got it all cleaned. What does he do now? Well,
you get energized, but you also get what I call the wall of panic when the clutter is gone. You're like, whoa, who am I without all my piles and that really crazy schedule? So the E is embrace your identity from within. It's like, I am who I am without all that stuff. I am who I am regardless of what's on my schedule. And it gives you the confidence to remain without all the junk.
Okay.
And then
we want to drive, but how do you get the car and drive? How do we get going?
Yes, so D is for drive yourself forward, and that's where you start moving toward the new life. You experiment and explore with where you go from here. And one of the actual secrets is I ask people to do something completely off track that they couldn't imagine themselves doing, not even part of your goals, but something you can't imagine yourself doing. When I did this years ago, I had an empty nest. I did gymnastics. And I learned to do a one-armed cartwheel. Yes, I know, it was crazy, but I learned to do a one-armed cartwheel. And I know, shocking, but now in my own life when I'm trying to be brave and move in a new direction and I'm scared.
You do one-armed cartwheels.
No, I say to myself, if I'm afraid to do that, but, if I can do a one-armed cartwheel, I can do that too. And it gives you courage to move forward. And that's really what getting unstuck is all about.
That's great. The book is Shed Your Stuff, Change Your Life. Julie Morgenstern, thanks so much for the advice this morning.
Thanks. You can do it.
That is great information, and that's part of our Fresh Start series, and that's what we're going to bring to you every week as we try to help people get a fresh start.
All right, let's check in with Rick. I'm sure he has something fresh going on outside.
We do. Let's first look at the weather, and then we're going to talk about some Irish dogs.